There's a lot of people really scared of death right now. And so I'm going to tell you the story of the first time I died. I was 15 years old and I was all kinds of trouble. And I had been sent to live with who I thought was my sister, but turned out to be my birth mother in Queensland, Australia for a while to sort me out. And well, the name of the town was Gympie, which really tells you everything you need to know about the town itself. And there was one day in the year that the town was filled with uncommon excitement, and it was the day of the Gympie Gold Rush, because this used to be a gold mining town years before. And it was the morning of the Gympie Gold Rush, and I had been looking forward to it for so long, and I was waiting impatiently whilst sunbathing in a bikini out the front when my friend Nate rode up on his brand new Kawasaki 175, I think it was, and he asked me if I wanted to go for a ride. And I said, sure, can I ride? And he said, do you know how to ride a bike? I went, sure, how hard can it be? And I didn't know how to ride a bike. So he looked me up and down in my bikini, and his hormones said yes, and he handed me a full-face helmet, and I put it on, and off we rode, because we would be back before anybody ever missed us. And we headed up Old Gympie Road, which nobody ever used anymore because it was a perilous road. It was old and filled with potholes and windy, and to the right was a very steep cliff that you could look over and see patches of colour in the distance that were the fields far below. And to the left, the hill went up, and the woodcutters had been and cut the trees into sharp V's for some reason. And I went round this corner, and this pothole leapt out, grabbed the front wheel of my bike and just threw me. Now, the can to the road, and every logical physics thing would say that I would have gone straight off to my death. But that's not how it works. Instead, I was caught and thrown up onto the cliff, where I landed like this next to one of the trees. The full face was shattered. They never found my bikini top. Nate was fine. He jumped up and he ran to the bike, and he picked it up and he carried it tenderly to the side of the road, and he checked it all over, and he made sure everything was all right, and he came up to see how I was doing, took one look at my leg where my femur was bent like one's knee would have been, but nope, and fainted clean away, leaving me alone on that little used stretch of road in the middle of southeast Queensland. Well, a lady and her daughter came along and saw the bike on the side of the road, and we were lucky. The lady stayed with me, and her daughter raced off into town to alert the ambulance. And it was rural enough, so we nearly hit a cow on the way back to the hospital. I remember being loaded onto the gurney and rattling along toward the operating theatre going, please don't tell my sister, please don't tell my sister. Somehow really believing, maybe, certainly wishful thinking, that I could still get back in before anybody knew I was gone. I remember the anaesthesiologist putting the mask over my face and counting me down. And the next thing I remember, I'm up here in the corner of the room looking down at the operating table, and the anaesthesiologist said, we've lost her. And then there's this flurry of activity, and all of a sudden I realised, oh my God, that's me. And I felt this feeling of loss, and then I realised, oh my God, that's not me, that's just my body, and this overwhelming sense of freedom. And then I saw it before it was fashionable. the lights, this tunnel, yeah, well, you'll see. And that light is God. It's pure, unconditional love, and they'll tell you it's chemicals or this or that, and nobody who's ever seen that light will tell you. They will all say it's love, and I wanted with every cell of my body, every fibre of my being to go into that light, and I was stopped and sent back. I woke up in ICU with the doctor telling me they wanted to chop my leg off. He said I'd never walk again. Told him I'd not only walk, I'd dance on his grave, and that's how I became a medal-winning ballroom and Latin dancer. But that's another story. I never feared death again after that, which is good because I died a bunch more times. But those are different stories. But I am, and I'll tell you, living proof that you only get to die when it's your time. And to live, death gives us the awareness of how truly sweet life is. It teaches us about priorities and the difference between urgent and important. Don't be afraid of him. So I wanted to share that story. I shall put more stories up on my website, experiencejoy.com. So if you want to hear the continued adventures, lives and deaths of joy, well, it feels like the right time to share these stories.